We see the devastation of Harvey, flooded businesses and homes. Look at these pictures, people losing their homes and everything in them. We also see water rescues of hundreds, even thousands of stranded people. But one thing you do not see much of is who rescues the pets and where do they go if they can't get to the same shelter locations as their owners. So we want to introduce Karen O'Toole. She knows firsthand how hard it is during these rescues. She talks about the animal rescues after Hurricane Katrina in her book, Orphans of Katrina, and the world's biggest animal rescue that happened out there. So Karen, tell me about, you obviously love animals.
Yes.
We must introduce your lovely pet in front of you. Who is this as well?
This is Stella. She's from the Maricopa County Care and Control.
She's adorable.
You can get a great animal there at any time. They're loaded with pets.
Yeah, so you went out to Katrina after the storm to that area. Tell me about what that was. What was your function there?
Well, I was a volunteer. Most of the people there were just volunteers. Most of them were secretaries, librarians, people that had never really rescued before who just flooded down there. And the city wouldn't let you in. Once they evacuated everybody out, the city wouldn't let anybody in. They had National Guards and police blocking all the entrances. So once you were inside the city, you really had to stay there or you weren't going to get back in.
Right.
And I could actually walk an entire day in New Orleans and not see another person. That's how empty it was, and that's how little help we had. It's a very different situation with Harvey because people are flooding in, they're bringing in boats, equipment. It's a different kind of a rescue, but Katrina was very devastating for the animals.
So you were out there, you were looking for the animals to save, and you were taking pictures while you were doing it. Tell me what we'll learn in this book.
Well, the book shows different stories. It talks about rescuers, it talks about the different animals. It'll go from a pig to a cockatiel, the story of what happened to them. And we had laws changed after Katrina because people were not allowed to evacuate with their animals. So now there's a law that transportation must let you take your animals. Yeah. It was a lot of small animal rescue. We didn't have a lot of horses and livestock. That's the difference with Harvey. It's a large animal rescue. It's a lot of horses and livestock. Very different than Katrina.
Tell me about some of the rescues you personally made there in New Orleans.
Well, we saved total everybody about 17,000 animals.
Oh my goodness.
We lost about 250,000. So we would have to break into houses all day long, and no houses were marked, so we didn't know where the animals were.
Oh my goodness. So
we would look for signs. If they had a bird bath in front of the house, maybe they're animal lovers. They like birds. Maybe they have a dog. We'd break into that house, but we didn't know. It was hit or miss if we could save an animal or not. If we were going to break in, go through all that, and then find there was no animals in there. Other houses we'd pass by because we just couldn't get in. They had up their storm windows and things. We didn't know if there were pets in there, and that was the problem. Nobody marked their houses. Another big problem with Katrina, which we learned a lot about, was that people didn't microchip their animals. So once we had the animal, we couldn't figure out where the owners were or who were the owners. And when we were really snatching them and running, we weren't sitting around trying to figure out what the address was. The street signs were down, the houses were underwater, you couldn't see the street number. So we didn't even know where they were coming from, what the address was. So we would just
focus
grab
on
them,
save the lives.
Saving their lives and rushing off to the next one, you know. So
what will we see in this book of yours?
The book tells you everything from how to care for your own animal. It's free, by the way. I want to
today, right?
All today until midnight, it's free.
Where? How do we get that?
Go on Amazon.com and you can get a copy of the book for Kindle. I think it's normally like $5.99 or something, so it's free. So please grab a copy. It'll teach you how to safeguard your own animal in disaster and what's going on in the rescue community in the United States right now. That spay and neutering is so important. Actually, there's two things you can do right now to help the animals of Houston. In Houston, they're trying to ship the animals out. Animal care and control here is so full. There's 1,100 animals. They can't take any of the animals from Houston. So if you spay and neuter, we try to keep the animals out of the shelter, save their lives. 6 million animals are in the shelter every year. 70% are not going to make it out alive. So please spay and neuter and help all the rescuers who volunteer. They're not being paid. They're all volunteering. They're kind of cleaning up after the rest of the country.
And leaving behind their own lives, their own families, their own jobs to be a part of this rescue mission. Thank you for what you did. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you. Free today till midnight.
Orphans of Katrina.
Yes.
And thank you to you. Good job on TV, little friend. Little Stella. And we'll be right back, Arizona.